Welcome back students. This video is for class 8, chapter number 11, force and pressure, page number 133. This is the second part of the video. I repeat, this video is for chapter number 11, force and pressure, page number 133, and it is the second part of the video. Okay, in first part we saw what are forces. Okay, so forces basically something that is required to perform some work. Then we saw there are two types of forces, push and pull. Yeah, in pushes and pull, these both are forces, and we normally observe this words written on the doors of any shops, right? They just paste this push and pull, pushes on the one side and pull on the other side. Next we saw magnitude. Magnitude is the amount of force required to do some work. Next we saw that to perform some when we perform some work, the force that is applied to do that work, that force is having some direction, right? That force is having some direction. Like if this is the pen, we want to strike it. If we are striking, means what we are, if we are hitting this pen, then we are performing some work, right? But that when we hit this pen, it moves in the forward direction. It moves in this forward direction, and that forward direction, by that direction we say that forces have some direction. Okay, next we saw that to apply some force, interaction between bodies is required. Interaction between that bodies is required. Okay, next here we consider the example of tug of war. It is the game in which two teams just pull the rope in the opposite directions. The one which pulls the other team towards them becomes the winner. Okay, now the force applied by both the teams is called as total force, and the force that is applied here in this game, it is in opposite direction. Means this team is applying force in this direction and this team is applying force in this direction. So both the for both the teams, the direction of force is opposite. Next thing, that when the force of one team is greater, that team becomes the winner. Means if this team is applying force and this the amount of force applied by this team is greater, then this team becomes winner and this become loser. Okay, and next thing, when both of the team are applying equal amount of force, both of the team are applying equal amount of force, but that force is in opposite direction, because this team's force direction is this and this team's force direction is this. So when there is equal and opposite amount of force, the total force becomes 0. The total force becomes 0. Okay, then we saw the effects of force. The effects of force, for that just we will see the conclusion statement, in which they says force changes or tends to change the state of rest of stationary object. Now stationary means what? The object which is not in motion, okay, which is not moving. Such object is called as stationary. Next we saw effect of force. Force can slow down or stop an moving object. If there is a moving object and if we apply force, for that let us consider the example of cycle. Okay, when we apply brakes to the cycle, what happens? The speed of the cycle reduces, and if we apply more brakes, or if we apply more brake, then what happens? The cycle stops. Okay, so force can slow down or stop a moving object. Next, a force can make an object in motion move faster. Okay, if we are pedaling the cycle, again we will consider the example of cycle. If we are pedaling it, then if we apply more force to the pedals and if we apply faster pedaling, what will happen? The speed of the cycle increases. Hence it is said that force can make an object move in motion move faster. Next, if we apply force to the handles of the cycle, okay, if we apply force in some direction, then what will happen? Force can change the direction of a moving object. The direction of the cycle changes. So force also can change the direction. Here are these some points. In that last point is, it can change the shape or size of an object. Means if for that let us consider the example of dough, chapati dough, which our mom makes to make the chapati. If the dough is there and if we press that dough, what will happen? The dough will become flat. Now we can say that according to that, it can change the shape or size of an object. Next we saw types of forces. In that we saw the two types of forces, that is contact force and non-contact force. In contact force, what we according to the according to the name, contact force means what? When two objects comes in contact and perform some work, that is called as contact force. And for that we have considered the example of a football. When we kick the football, it performs some works, or it comes in motion, right? So when we kick the ball, what is happening? Our foot is coming in contact with the football, and hence it performs some work. So forces that acts on object by coming in contact with them are called as contact forces. Next we saw non-contact forces. As the name suggests, when the objects don't comes in contact and then two forces applied, then it is called as non-contact force. And for that they have given example of magnet. Okay, so when we use magnet, what happens? When the magnet is placed near the iron fillings, right? If or iron nail, if the magnet is placed near the nail, what will happen? From a distance only the magnet will attract the nail, right? Means what? There is no need of any rope, wire or anything. Only the magnet is enough to just pull the nail towards it, right? So that force is called as non-contact force, because the magnet is not coming in contact with the nail, then too the force is exerted on the nail. So that is called as non-contact force. Okay, now today we will see what is contact force, what are the types of contact force and non-contact force. Okay, so basically the contact and non-contact force, these are types of forces, right? The contact and non-contact force, these are types of forces. Now today we will go through types of contact forces and types of non-contact forces. For that, first we will consider the types of contact force. First is muscular force. Now what they say, the force we exert by using our muscle is called as muscular force. It is very simple to remember. As the name suggests, the force exerted by our muscles is called as muscular forces. And examples of this is pushing, pulling and kicking. Means normally the force which exerted by humans or any living beings using the muscles, right? It is called as muscular force. For that, example is pushing and pulling the door. Next example is a bullock cart. Have you seen a bullock cart? In bullock cart there is a bull and there is a cart, right? There are two bulls and there is a cart. So what happens when the bull what we can say, pulls that cart? If let us consider this as bull and the cart is tied towards the bull, right? So when the bull pulls the cart, what happens? The cart moves, right? So this total is called as bullock cart. So when the bull pulls the cart, it moves. So but the bull here is applying the muscular force because the bull is doing the work. So this is also an example of muscular force. So example of muscular forces like pushing and pulling, right? Like pushing and pulling. Next is bullock cart. Next example is bullock cart. Okay, now we have seen muscular force. Next is the frictional force. Okay, so in contact force, first is muscular force and next is frictional force. Next type is frictional force. Now as we know, this is a type of contact force. Means what? Again, it will occur when two bodies come in contact, right? When two bodies come in contact, the frictional force occurs. Now when an object slides or rolls on a surface, a force comes into play between the surface in contact. It tries to stop the object from moving. This force is called as force of friction. Means what? Let us consider the example of slide. Okay, everyone has played on slides in their childhood. Okay, so this is the example for frictional force. Now what happens? You climb here using the ladder. Okay, so using this ladder you climb here. After that we just slide like this. But as for long as you continue on this as you continue to slide on the sliding, what will happen? Slowly your speed reduces. Your speed reduces. Why? Because the friction is occurring between you and the surface of the slide. Next example is cycle brakes. Okay, you seen the brakes of the cycle? This is the wheel. Okay, this is the wheel, and the brakes are somewhere here. There are some rectangular type of brakes. So what happens when you apply the brakes on the handle? When you apply the brakes on the handle, this rubber thing, rectangular rubber thing, this comes in contact with the wheel. So it just what we can say, just forces the wheel to stop. So when the wheel is moving, imagine the wheel is moving and some rubber stamps like something comes in contact with the cycle wheel, and it just presses the wheel. What happens? The speed reduces, hence the brakes are applied. So we can say that here the friction is occurring because why? The brakes and wheel are coming in contact with each other. So friction is occurring between brakes and surface of that wheel. So this is an example of frictional force. They have given example of they also have given the example of cycle. And friction not only tends to stop a moving object but also tends to stop a stationary object from moving. Okay, now that is why it is more difficult to move a toy car on a rough sandy playground than on a smooth tile floor. Because why? In sand the friction is more on compared to tiles. On tiles we can also slide, if soap water is there, we get slip over it, right? So many a times we get slip over the tiles. So this is because of less friction. But if soap water is not there, we don't get slip on the tiles, right? Means the friction is reduced. So there is friction between and in bicycle there is a friction between the tire of bicycle and the surface of the road. Now next is non-contact force. So have you understood what is muscular force and frictional force? Now we will go for non-contact force. Your example is cycle brakes. Example is cycle brakes. Okay, so contact force, example is football. Next types is muscular force and frictional force. Muscular force is pushing and pulling, and frictional force is cycle brake. Next is non-contact force. Now in that non-contact force we will see what are the types. First is gravitational force. And next is magnetic force. Now when you hear the term gravitational force, when you hear the term gravitational force, what comes into your minds? When you hear the term gravitational force, okay, gravitational force, gravitational means gravity, and gravity means Newton, right? Gravity means Newton. Everyone knows this story that apple falls on him, then he discovers, or he says that gravity exists because the apple has fallen down and it didn't went up. Okay, now what is gravity? Basically gravity means what? If this is our mother earth, this is earth, okay, this is earth. So earth exerts some pressure on its surrounding. Means what? We can say that till a specific distance there is a earth's force. Earth exerts some force. So we can see that till here the earth force is applicable. After this the earth force is not applicable. Okay, so in this direction or in this way the earth force is surrounded towards earth. If this is the earth, the force is surrounded in all the directions. Okay, means vertical, horizontal, and in all the directions the force is surrounded, and that force is called as gravitational force. This is called as gravitational force. Now what does this gravitational force do? It attracts the object present in the field. The lines you can see that, or the what we can say, or the distance till which the force is present, that is called as field, that is called as gravitational field. So this dotted line, or the area till where, or the distance till where the force is applicable, that is called as gravitational field. So the objects present inside the gravitational field are always pulled towards the surface of the earth. Means anything present in that gravitational field is pulled towards the surface of the earth. Like we are standing on the earth due to the gravitational field, because we are getting some pull, right, towards the earth. All the objects which are present on the earth's surface are due to the gravitational field or gravitational pull of the earth. Next, the moon is rotating near the earth, right? The moon is rotating near the earth, so that is also due to the gravitational field or gravitational force. Okay, so who said about the gravitational force was Newton. Sir Isaac Newton showed that every object attracts every other object in the universe, and this force of attraction is called gravitational force. Next, next is the gravitational force. This force we can represent it by F. This force depends on, the gravitational force always depends on masses of the object, always depends on masses of objects. Now to understand this thing, let us consider one example. If you throw a ball, if you are standing on the ground, if this is the ground and if you are standing on the ground, if you throw a ball upward, if you throw a ball upward, what will happen? The ball will travel some distance. After that it will again, means first it will go up, it will travel some distance, and after that it will come down, right? Now you know feather, bird's feather, right? If you throw this feather up, okay, if take a ball and feather in your hand, and if you throw the ball upward and with same force you throw the feather upward, what will happen? The ball will come first and the feather will come slowly. Why? Because mass or weight of the ball is much higher than the feather. Okay, so mass of ball is greater than the mass of feather, right? Ball come first, then the feather comes down, so mass of ball is greater than mass of feather. Hence we can say that the gravitational force depend on mass of object, means the gravity is pulling ball much greater than the feather, right, towards it. So we can say that the gravitational force depends on masses of the object, depends upon masses of the object. So is this clear? So again I will repeat, the gravitational force depends on masses of the object. Next is objects that are closer together experience a greater gravitational force than which are far away from the earth. Now if this is the earth, the objects that are close, okay, objects that are close or on the earth's surface experience more gravitational pull than the objects away from the earth. Okay, it will experience gravitational field or pull till a specific distance, right? But as you go away from the earth, the gravitational pull reduces, and after a certain extent it will escape, or it will, what we can say, vanish. Okay, means here it is greater, here it is less, and above the gravitational field it is absent. You will not feel any pull towards the earth. Means if you are near the surface, the gravitational pull is higher. If you are far away from the surface, it is less. Here it is higher, here it is higher, here it is less, because it is at certain distance, and above that field it is absent. Okay, understood? Now weight is a measure of the gravitational force exerted by the earth. Now our weight, we are humans, right? We have some weight, everyone is having some weight. Now that weight is due to the gravitational field or gravitational pull. For that, have you visited Nehru Planetarium ever? You can see that there are sections they have made. They have made some sections, okay, like cabin like sections. In those sections they have placed some weighing machine. In every section there is a weighing machine. Weighing machine means what? The machine on which we stand and we see our weight. So in every section there is a weighing machine. Okay, there is a weighing machine. So what happens, they have named the section. Let this be Moon, then Mercury, Mars, Venus. Okay, so they have named this section, they have named the different sections with different planets and satellites. So when you stand on that weighing machine, you notice that the weight, your weight on the Moon is different than your weight on the Earth. Okay, this is the normal one on which you stand, and you see the weight that you see regularly, means on the Earth. So this is Earth, this is the weighing machine of Earth. So when you stand, for example, your weight is on the Earth is 50 kg. When you stand on the Moon, you will notice something else. Okay, on Mercury your weight is different, on Mars your weight is different, and on Venus your weight is different. Means what? The Earth, the weight of anything depends upon the gravitational pull of that specific planet. On Moon the gravitational field is different, on Mars, on Mercury, on Venus it is different. So your weight totally depends upon the gravitational field of that planet, and as we are staying on Earth, our weight depends upon the gravitational field of Earth. Okay, and on Moon it is 1/6 times than Earth. Okay, what they have said that on Moon you weigh only 1/6 of what is does on Earth. Means for on Earth if you are weighing 50 kg, on Earth if you are weighing 50 kg, on Moon your weight will be 1/6 of Earth, right? So it is something 6 ones are 6 8s are 48 and 6 3s are 18, means something 8.3 kgs. Means on the Moon if you are weighing 50 kgs on Earth, if you are weighing 50 kgs on Earth, then on Moon you will weigh only 8.3 kgs. Means you can see the difference between both the surface. Okay, so this is about gravitational force. Next is magnetic force. So types of in non-contact force, that there is, as we have seen the example of magnet, here it comes the magnetic force. Now magnetic force, gravitational force is due to Earth, and magnetic force again, with the, as the name suggests, it is due to the magnet. Now have you seen magnets? The magnet has poles, right? They have two poles. One is North Pole, another is South Pole. One is North Pole, another is South Pole. For all the magnets, there are two poles, North Pole, South Pole, North Pole, South Pole. When you place south and north, means south of one magnet and north of one magnet towards each other, they will attract. And when you place opposite poles, like no, these are opposite poles, like, so they attract. When you place like poles, like north south, and if you place south north, what will happen? They will repel each other. Means when you place south and north, means opposite towards each other, they will attract. And when you will place south and south, means like poles towards each other, they will repel each other. They don't come close, they will repel each other. Okay, so this repulsion or this attraction is also a type of force, right? Means some force is applied or some force can be experienced when you hold that two magnets. You experience some force, whether it be attraction or repulsion, but you experience some force, and that force is called as magnetic force. For that they have given one activity, that is to place magnet on the table and just place the needles below the table. You will find that the needles get attracted towards the magnet. So this is due to the magnetic force. But as you move the magnet, the needles will fall down. Okay, means what? As the magnetic force is removed, the needles will fall down, but as the magnet is there, the needles will also get attracted towards the magnet. So this is the magnetic force. Next is unit of force. Now anything which exists in the universe, we measure it, right? Anything which exists over there, we measure it. Now to measure the force, some unit is required. Like for mass we use kg, for temperature we use Celsius, for length we use meter. Similarly for force we use the term called as Newton. For force we could use the term called as Newton, but to represent that Newton, kilogram force is required. So kilogram force is given as Newton. So kilogram force is given as Newton. So the measure is 1 kilogram force is downward force exerted by earth on a mass of 1 kg. Means how we calculate for 1 kg, the amount of force earth is exerting on 1 kg is called as 1 kilogram force. Means 1 kg is 1 kg here, and force exerted by the earth is force. So amount of force exerted on 1 kg is given as 1 kilogram force, and it is also called as 1 Newton. Okay, 1, it is 1, but you know the value of small g. Small g is gravitational acceleration, and that is 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, so value of gravity is 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, it is 9.8. So we calculate 1 kg force is called as 9.8. Again, meter per second square is Newton. So 1 kg force is 9.8 Newton approximately, or we call it as 10 Newton. Okay, if we make it as round figure, it will become 10 Newton. So thus a mass of about 100 gram exerts 1 Newton on your hand. So 1 kilogram force is 10 Newton. Next is so as we have derived unit of force, the chapter force and pressure, in that force topic is over. Now we will go for pressure. Force is over, we will start with pressure. So have you understood what is force clearly? Okay, now pressure. For pressure it is page number 139. Let's start with pressure. Pressure is the another topic, that is topic number 2 of this chapter, that is pressure. Now the word pressure means what? Something which occurs when you press something, right? Something which occurs when you press something. For that it is related to press, right? So for that we hear the word pressure for normally for blood pressure. We say that the blood pressure has raised, or they means someone is having high blood pressure or low blood pressure. So the pressure word is mostly used over there for pressure, for blood pressure, like, right? So for that let us consider one activity first. Okay, now take 3 bricks, place them one above the another. Take 3 bricks and place them one above the another. Similarly take another 3 bricks and place them one above the another. Now what you have to do is take one cardboard or a piece of cardboard and place it horizontally between the brick number 2 and 3, and here also between brick number 2 and 3. So we just have to place the cardboard. Now do you know the playing cards, right? Now take the playing cards and just spread them over the cardboard. Okay, now just spread them over the cardboard. What will happen? The cardboard will, the shape of the cardboard will not change. Means if this is the cardboard and you are placing cards over it, it will remain stable, right? But what happens if you just take all the playing cards and place at one place only? Means you are not spreading it, you are just making a bundle and placing over the cardboard. What will happen? It will bend, it will slightly bend, right? It will slightly bend. Now in third case, if you add more cards, now suppose here are 5 cards, now here you are adding another 5 cards, means here are total 10 cards. What will happen? The card will bend much more than this one, this case, right? Means what? When the this cards were spread evenly, there was no bending. When you just made a bundle of 5 cards, it bends slightly, and when you made bundle of 10 cards, it bent much more than the second case. So what we can say that when the pressure exerted by the cards was very less, there was no effect on the cardboard. But when the pressure increased, it bent slightly. But as the pressure increased more, then the bending was more. Means what? When the weight increases, the pressure also increases. Right? Means what? When the weight increases, amount of weight at a particular area. Now in these two cases, here are also 5 cards, here are also 5 cards, but then too bending is much more in this case compared to this case, right? Means what? When the pressure is exerted at a certain amount of what we can say area only, right? Here the area is bigger, here this much area is only included. So the amount of pressure exerted depends upon the area on which the force is applied, right? On which the force is applied. Now here more force is applied, hence the more pressure is exerted. So this experiment is very important to understand basically what pressure is. Next is if the area over which the force acts decreases, the pressure increases, right? The area decreases means what? In this case the area, in case 2 the area decreased, right? Here the area was from here to here, but here the area is this much. So as the area decreases, pressure increases, right? As area decreases, pressure increases. Next is if the force applied on an area increases, the pressure increases. And in third condition, if the force increases, pressure also increases. Means what? We can say that for pressure, which two things are important? If area decreases, pressure increases, right? If area decreases, pressure increases. If weight or force, right? Weight or force increases, pressure also increases, right? Pressure increases. So these 2 points are very, very important. Okay. Now again, as we have measured the force, right? Now we will measure the pressure. Similarly, we will measure the pressure. Now for force, the unit was Newton. For force, the unit is Newton, but for pressure, the unit is Pascal. It is Pascal. The pronunciation is Pascal, and will be represented by capital P and small a, that is PA. Pascal is the name of scientist. Okay, so Pascal is the unit of pressure. SI unit of pressure, and 1 Pascal is 1 Newton per meter square, where force is kg force per meter square. Okay, means what? We can say that, see, look here, now what it is given, look here. Okay, is it visible? Yeah. Now 1 Pascal is 1 Newton per meter square. Now what is Newton? Newton is force. Means we can say that 1 into this Newton means force, and meter square means area, right? Meter square is the unit of area. Means Pascal is force upon area. Means 1 Pascal is force upon area. So 1 it is not necessary to represent the 1. So we can say that Pascal is the unit of pressure. So pressure is equal to force upon area. Okay, I'll repeat. 1 Pascal is 1 Newton per meter square. 1 Newton per meter square. Okay, now Pascal is the unit of pressure, Newton is the unit of force, and meter square is the unit of area. So pressure is force upon area. This is our formula for pressure. Pressure is force upon area. Now let us consider an example. Okay, let's solve this example. What they have said, a box of mass 10 kg, means mass is given, that is 10 kg, has a base of area 1 meter square. Calculate the pressure exerted by it on ground. Now this is the box. This is the box. Okay. The box has weight. Weight of the box is 10 kg. Now the area, the base of the box. Okay, so the area of the base of the box is 1 meter square. So what we have to calculate the pressure, means what we have, they have given us mass, right? Mass is 10 kg and area is 1 meter square. It is given. Now they have given one quantity also. 1 kg force is 10 Newton, right? 1 kg force is 10 Newton. Now we are having 10 kg, right? We are having 10 kg. So 10 kg force will become 1 kg force is 10 Newton. So 10 kg force will become 10 Newton into this 10, right? This will become 100 Newton. Means if 1 kg is 10, then 10 kg will be 100. So this is 100 Newton. So we got force and area. We are already having our area. So just substitute in the formula. What will happen? Pressure formula is pressure is force upon area, right? Pressure is force upon area. So let's just substitute over here. Force upon area means force is 100 Newton upon area is 1 meter square. So pressure is 100 Newton per meter square. So this is our pressure. Okay, so this is pressure. Understood? Means a box is 10 kg and its area is 1 meter square. Now 1 kg is 10 Newton, so 10 kg will become 100 Newton, right? 10 tens are 100. So pressure, formula for pressure is force upon area. We are having force now. Force is 100 Newton and 1 meter square is 100 Newton per meter square, or Newton per meter square, or it is called as Pascal, Okay, so that is 100 Pascal. Pressure is 100 Pascal.